Today, we're going to learn a new strategy for reading nonfiction. And when you're reading nonfiction, you really want to get interested in what you're reading. That's your engagement, right? Like at the beginning of the year when we worked on engagement, it meant sitting, reading, being into what you're reading. Sometimes that's harder with nonfiction, but as best as you can, you want to read with curiosity, you want to read with engagement. Don't just look at the words, read with curiosity, read with interest. Read like, wow, I never knew that. And then as you're reading in that way, the facts that you're learning that can sometimes feel dry or uninteresting, you're going to remember them and you're going to be more tuned into what you're reading. So I'm going to model with this text in this chapter called Life in a New Land. In 1607, a ship filled with people from England landed on the coast of the land we now call Virginia. With the permission of King James I of England, they had set out to start a new life in a new land. With axes and spades, they cleared a spot in the forest. So, like, wow, I never knew that the first people who came to the colonies, they actually had permission from the king, and that when they got here, there was like no place literally to live. They had to literally like take axes and spades and they had to clear a spot with their bare hands. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty awesome. Reading with curiosity and interest, we really want to think about what we're reading and what's amazing, what's interesting, what tweaks our interest in it. So let's read this next part. They then built a tiny village of mud huts. This village became Jamestown, the first successful English settlement or colony in North America. Named after King James I, this new village was a colony belonging to England. The people who live there are called colonists. Wow, I never knew that the first houses that people built were made of mud. Like that's crazy. Imagine living in a house made of mud. That's very interesting to me. I'm very curious about that. And the first colony was named after the king, and it belonged to England. It was actually, the people that lived here they belonged to England. They didn't belong to themselves. That's very interesting to me. The first Jamestown's colonists eagerly searched for gold and precious stones in the Virginian countryside. They hoped to make an easy fortune and return to England. They never found gold or precious stone. Wow, I never knew that the first colonists thought that when they came to this country, they would actually find gold here, which is kind of weird because that's not something we find very easily here, gold and precious stones, and that they actually never found it. So that's pretty interesting to me. The Europeans also brought diseases that Indians had never encountered. Thousands of Indians sickened and died. The colonists also took Indian land, pushing the Indians west. After only 100 years, Indian culture and life on the east coast of North America had nearly disappeared. Wow, I never knew that the colonists were this incredibly hard on the Native Americans. They took their land in addition to making them sick, and it got so bad that the Indians who had been the only people living on this land almost as a culture entirely disappeared. So today I want to challenge you is really try to read with curiosity and interest, excitement. You want to be excited about what you're reading. You want to get excited, even if it's not a topic you're picking yourself. Um, Try to find something in it that interests you or you're curious about.